If you ever have the opportunity to go on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, which I'm hopeful we can start doing again next year, now that things have changed in the world, if you go through the West Bank or other parts of Israel on the Sabbath day, you'll see that nothing is working. Nobody's out on the street, nobody's driving, nobody's doing any work. In fact, in some of those places, they even consider punching the button on an elevator to be work, so the elevator is always open all day long, and everything at meals would be self-serve. So the Jewish people take that Sabbath law very, very seriously, and so the Pharisees were saying to Jesus, look, they're picking grain, tell them to knock it off, and our Lord gives them a little lesson. So the Sabbath was made for man, man not made for the Sabbath. Sabbath, as you know, is Saturday. That's the seventh day of the week, sabbato. But we honor that third commandment to keep the Lord's Day holy by honoring Sunday, because that's the day of the resurrection, it's the first day of creation. And the way we honor that Sunday is by attending Mass on Sundays. That's why Mass or Sundays are always an obligation. It's a holy day of obligation. However, there can be other higher reasons of charity that would excuse you from going to Mass on a Sunday and not committing any sin. Right? What are those higher duties of charity? Maybe you're a young mom, you've got 3 little kids at home, they're sick, you're sick, everybody's sick. Please stay home, take care of the kids. Or there's no help, or you can't afford help. Right? So God is demanding, but is also reasonable, and the church is reasonable too. So there could be a higher duty of charity. Maybe you have to take care of some elderly people, and there's no one else to care for them, and you can't attend them. Maybe you're on call at the hospital as an emergency room doctor for 24 hours, Saturday and Sunday, and you can't attend. So sometimes there are reasons why you cannot attend Mass on Sunday. Or maybe you're sick. Please stay home. Right? Maybe it's physically impossible to attend Mass on Sunday. You might be living in the outback of Australia, and the closest church is 8 hours away. That's a long distance to travel. Well, maybe I could get a helicopter. Yeah, maybe, but maybe you couldn't afford it either. All right, so those are things to consider here in terms of how we interpret the law as it applies to us. Sometimes there's higher reasons of charity that could excuse us from that. And then people say, well, gosh, today only half the Catholics go to Mass. Woe are we. Well, all right, if the other half go twice a week, then that's 100%. So, well, actually, Father, it's a lot worse than that. Only 1 in 5 go to Mass on Sundays, only 20%. Okay, well, if those 20% went Monday through Friday, then that's 100%. 5 times 20. Yeah, but it's not really, it's like 14%. All right, if everybody goes, those 14% go every day, then you make up for it. All right, so you have to look for the good news and all the bad news and what we can do with that, right? All right, now today is the feast of St. Agnes. Agnes means lamb. And did you know they have a little ceremony in the Vatican today? They bring 2 little lambs to the Vatican, and Pope Francis will bless them. The lambs don't understand what's going on. And then they're given to Benedictine nuns in the convent of St. Cecilia in Trastevere, which is about a half mile away, and they take care for those little lambs. They feed them, and whatever you do with lambs, you water them, all right? You take care of the lambs. And then after Easter, you mow the lambs. That's called shearing them. They get shorn. And all that wool is taken. And then they take that wool and they make it into a little garment, which is called a pallium, Pallium, which is a little stole that is placed over the shoulders of the new archbishop. And until recently, when you're made an archbishop, you'd go to Rome on June 29th, the feast of St. Peter and St. Paul, and the Pope would put this new pallium over your shoulders as a sign of your unity with him. Now you don't actually have to go to Rome. The papal nuncio in the country will bring the pallium to you. And that will happen sometime in June this year for Joe Vasquez, who's known as Bishop Joe Vasquez from Austin. He's a friend and supporter of Relevant Radio because he's been appointed the new Archbishop of Houston. And the old Archbishop, also a friend of Relevant Radio, Cardinal DiNardo, said, gee, what a great appointment. It is a great appointment. So I hope you keep the bishops and the archbishops in your prayer. And now you know a little bit of Catholic insider trivia about this. And also that St. Agnes is one of the martyrs who is mentioned in the first Eucharistic prayer.